Okay, we're
Okay.
walking with Barbara Sher
And
and with Romeo.
Romeo the Killer, the Yorkshire terrorist. And this is the Saluda Inn, where we had our retreat of the Right Speak retreat of Saluda 2010.
So Barbara, we have a success team and we're wondering if you'd share some wisdom. It's been a few years since you've written your book on Teamworks and the kit, so...
Well, there are actually two things. One thing that I discovered that I think a number of people have already built in is that the Success Team kit, it launches itself in 8 weeks and then it continues going after the leader leaves. But what I didn't understand as clearly as I do now is that it takes different people different amounts of time because they'll get excited and they'll get going and they'll stop. Some people will stop for 6 months, a year, and then they'll start up again. And everybody always thought that if they stopped, they shouldn't stop. You got to keep going, you know. But they run into personal things that they don't understand or that the team doesn't understand. And I guess what I did say, and I say it again now, is you just don't go away. You just come in and help other people and say, I'm on strike. I'm not ready to move, and everybody has to respect that. Mm-hmm. If you say, make me move, they have to respect that too. I'll say no, you say yes, but you have to tell them to do that. But the thing that I didn't know, and I'd love everybody to know, is about the 3 phases of excitement. I think that when you're safe enough and you're in a team where you're getting help and people are excited by your ideas, you tend to have the courage to kind of get excited by them yourself. And you have wonderful ideas, big ideas. You may think them alone or you may tell them to the team. And then you crash. And everybody crashes. And that's okay because that's part 2 of a 3-part thing, but none of us ever knew it was part 2 of a 3-part thing. We thought it was part 2 of a 2-part thing. And that the idea we had was stupid. And that we have to stop doing that unrealistic stuff. We kind of take the voice of a parent, a disapproving parent, on ourselves. And we also, the interesting thing about the first phase is that you are completely inspired. And when you're in the second phase, you discard that. You say, oh, that was stupid. But the truth is that the first phase is inspired. It really is inspired. You can't do what you're dreaming, but you can't dream that dream any other time except when you're inspired. And because you're in love with a dream, and when you're in love, you're a genius. And that it's incredibly important to write down everything as if it were, to tell a story, to make it clear so you'll always understand it. No outlines, no keywords that you think you'll understand later because you won't. And you just say, I can see now that the world could be united under one umbrella of love if we only, and make it big wherever you want to go. Don't hold yourself back. And write it down and don't lose that paper. Don't lose that book. And then when you crash, try to understand that the reason you're crashing is because you've expended too much energy. You need a rest. And left to your own devices, you would not rest. You would do this thing. So nature makes you go, takes the wind out of your sails. It puts a pin in your balloon. Sometimes you do it yourself by going and telling someone who always disapproves of everything you do and saying, this one's so good, they're going to have to admit that they love it. And of course they don't. They destroy it. But that's just the vehicle. You wouldn't have told them if you weren't ready to destroy it. So the middle part actually is a resting up part where you gather more energy. And you're supposed to, the interesting thing about the second part is it's a minor depression. Nature knows when to toss it to you, and a minor depression has a very interesting characteristic. When you're depressed, you feel very wise. You think everybody's stupid but you. And you go, look at those idiots. They're happy because they don't know what I know. You never feel that way when you're happy. You just think, I'd like a chocolate ice cream cone. Oh, the sun's shining. Oh, I itch. You're like, that's how you feel when you're happy. But when you're depressed, you think, big ideas. Right, great. And you become this wise elder. And that's really nature's way of keeping you where you are, so you won't get any fancy ideas and break your neck accidentally. You should give into it. Give into it completely. Relax. Do whatever you want to. There will come a time, and make no demands on yourself. And the team has to know this, because if you say I'm in phase 2, they go, oh, well, you can have a hard time saying that was a stupid idea. Oh, yeah, I guess it's impossible. But there comes a time when you get bored with being right, and you get kind of bored with having nothing to do. And at that point, you enter stage 3. And stage 3 is when you pick up that book you wrote and then look at it again. Stage 3 is where all the work gets done, and nobody ever remembers stage 3. They just discard that great idea and try not to have another one. Then they do have another one, get high, crash, and feel like a bigger moron the second time. But stage 3 is the essence of that dream coming true. Because you look in it and you go, that is not a bad idea, and you are in a mode where you can plan things, think things through, and you're in a good mood, but you're not high. I hope this also dispels the notion that, which is partly true, it's like, oh, if only I were high, I could do anything. Well, no, if you were high, you could imagine anything, and it would be quite wonderful. It would be something nobody else could imagine. So feeling high and exhilarated has a really important purpose. It shows you a destination. There's no point in doing anything until you've got someplace you want to go. But crashing is important to save your energy, and when you get it back, you will be ready to work. And I just want everybody to know that, and I think the success team should know that. So that's what I wanted you to know.
Thanks, Barbara.
My pleasure.